Hello, all right, now we're continuing the Sikha that we learned in Makuti Sikha's base about Parshat Balak. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about love and fear being the antidote to Bilam and Amalek. Do you remember that? Yesterday we did that? Do you have your page? Yes?
I didn't have one.
I don't have another safer. Here you go, here. Here's a look on with... All right, so yesterday we learned that Balak comes from also in Bilam. They come from holy families. From Bilam, from Yitzchak, from Lavan. The builders of the Jewish nation. I'll put this over here. But nevertheless, their real goal is to destroy Judaism. How can you tell? Because they discourage the love and fear of God. And if we have the love and fear of God, then that is the antidote to Bilam and Amalek and Balak. Remember we did that yesterday? We wrote yeah. Dalit. Okay, be with me please. Dalit. It's the next page. 46. Page 46. And Benevuat Bilam, in the prophecy of Bilam, it says, Mirosh Tzurim Erenu Umigvaos Asherenu. See where it is? You have it? Yes. It says, from the tops of the mountains I see you, and from the hills I look at him. We learned a sikh about this the other day. The other day we learned. It says in the Midrash that the mountains are Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and that the hills are Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah, and that represents two different types of connection to God. Connection to God, how far away God is, like the Avos did, how immense and infinite God is, incomprehensible. And the way of the Emos is how much Hashem loves us, how much Hashem is close to us, and He creates us. Because when Jews have those two things, then Bilam is helpless. So now we're going to learn another way of looking at the same sentence. Marosh Tzurim Erenu Migvos Asherenu. The Tzurim, it talks about the Avos. It talks about Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Gavaot, the hills, is talking about the Emos, the mothers. This is in the Midrash Rabbah. It says, Kol Dodi Dofik Medalig al Harim Mikvos al Gavos. It also says the same thing in Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs. The voice of my beloved is heard. It jumps over the mountains and it skips over the hills. And this voice of my beloved is talking about God calling out to the Jewish people. Skipping over the mountains, through the mountains, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, because of their tremendous, boundless self-sacrifice, that they didn't think about themselves at all, only about what God wants. Is because of this, it brings blessing and protection to all the Jewish people. Good? So the mountains are Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and the hills are the mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. And this is what Bilam saw, and this is what prevented him from cursing the Jewish people and made him bless the Jewish people.
But mountains are bigger than hills.
Right. The fathers are the
For women are more important than men.
It's referring to
How
the.
does this make
Listen,
sense?
it's referring to the fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. They're higher up. That's an aspect of God that's further from us. And the mothers, they're like hills, that's closer to us.
But women are more important than
Because
men.
of that, in that aspect, that they're closer to us. But in another aspect, men are more important. Because they are more, their obligation is more to connect to God.
That's why feminism is wrong, kids.
Dalid, Dover,
I'll tell you why later. That's long.
Dover Howry, we already spoke. We spoke about this. Besichad Yud Beis Tammuz, regarding Yud Beit Tammuz. Now, Yud Beit Tammuz was the day that the previous Rebbe in 1927 was announced that he was not going to be killed, he was not going to be imprisoned, and he was not going to be sent to exile, he was going to be set free by the communists. And we have to remember that he was public enemy number one to the communists. So them releasing him was a sign of their helplessness. Kasuv, like it says, Bilam ben Beor. Bilam ben Beor. In Bano Mamish, he was the son really of Beor, or he was just his grandson. In any case, he came out of Beor. And who is Beor? Beor is Lavan. Okay?
Okay.
Lavan said, the Banod Banai Banim Bali. Lavan said, all of these children, you with me, Yonah, please. Lavan, who was Lavan? Lavan was the father of Rivka. Lavan said, all of your children, I'm sorry.
Brother.
Lavan was the brother of Rivka, right? Lavan was the father of Rachel and Leah. Sorry. And Lavan said that all of your children, Yaakov, they all belong to me. Right? All of your children belong to me. Habanot Banai, your son, the daughters are my daughters, the sons are my sons. In order to contradict this claim that Lavan said that all the Jewish people really belong to me, one of his offspring, namely Balak, Bilam had to say, Mirosh Tzurim Ereno Umigvaos Hashereno. He had to say, I admit that the Avos and the Imos have conquered me. Please, Yonah, please look inside. Please, be with us. Mikan Muven. From this it's understood, Kitinus Lavan, the accusations of Lavan, that the daughters belong to me and the sons belong to me, it has a certain basis. Shekain ilu lo yataina zu kol yesod. That if it didn't have any basis whatsoever, lo yanechtav, it wouldn't be written in the Torah. Lo yatzorich shebilam, it wouldn't be necessary that Bilam, who comes from Lavan, would eventually be the one that negates this claim. He's going to say, I admit that I'm wrong. The Jewish people come from the Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, and I have no connection to them. Okay, what is Lavan trying to say? What is Lavan now? What's the point that the Rebbe wants to make? Bilam comes from Lavan. Lavan was the father of the founders of Judaism. Rachel and Leah founded Judaism. They founded the 12 tribes. Lavan said, all these tribes, I'm their grandfather. Right? I have a claim to them. And this claim was a very strong and a powerful claim until generations later came Bilam. And Bilam admitted, I'm trying to curse the Jews, and from the power that I have from my great-great-great-grandfather, from Lavan, I want to curse the Jews. And he couldn't do it. He wasn't able to do it. Why? Because he says, I see them from the mountains and I see them from the hills. Because of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and because of Sorah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, their power is too much. I can't curse the Jews.
Now, was he saying, like, he did say a curse, but didn't curse them?
What?
Was he, now, how are they defining this? Are they saying that he said the curse and it was changed to a blessing?
No, he didn't say the
curse. Or he
curse.
physically could just not say
He
it?
couldn't. That's what it says in the Torah. He tried to curse them, and it came out in blessings. He said, I want to curse them, take me to a place. He made sacrifices, he did everything he had to do, all the occult rituals, and he was 100, he never failed. He had never failed before in his life. He had a perfect record. Everyone that he cursed was cursed. Everyone. There was absolutely no reason why his curses shouldn't work on the Jews. And it says even more, the Jews deserved it. The Jews, he realized that exactly when the time was to curse the Jews, and the Jews had done certain bad things, that they deserved the curses. But what did he do? He got ready to curse, and all of a sudden he said, I can't do it. All I can do is make blessings. Something is going wrong over here. And what is it? The fathers and the mothers. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, their self-sacrifice for serving God is what protected the Jews all the generations. Okay, good? Ma mashmuto shel tainut Lavan. What was Lavan trying to say? Lavan, back then, the great-great-great-grandfather of Bilam, what was he trying to say? The children all belong to me. They all belong to me. What did he really mean? Good, he could, sure, of course they belong to him in a certain sense. He's the grandfather, but the grandfather says, these kids are mine. Grandfather, the kids all belong to me. Of course, that's ridiculous, right? I'm the grandfather. I have a connection to them, but they don't belong to me. What does he mean?
Grandpa Bolton.
Hoil, vaneshama, yorda, leguf, since the soul came into the body, ve'aleh, lavo, b'maga, imagashmus, and the soul has to come in contact with the physical world. Im omnam hamatara hi lavarer et agashmiut. If the intention is to purify the physical world, hare behold, hamitabek im menuvel mitnabel gamken. A person who wrestles with a disgusting, dirty person, he also becomes disgusting and dirty. Im kia davar, who, if so, the same thing with the soul. The soul is not going to come into the body. It's going to have to wrestle with the world. The soul is going to become defiled. Im ki adavar hu rak l'shakala, even though it's only temporary. Rega katan zavticha, as it says, it seems that for a very short time, God has abandoned us. Va'asa asid hu la'achar mikan l'tzeit mikan, and for sure the soul is going to go out of the body afterwards. Hari b'shazu, but at this time, when the soul is in the body, he comes in contact with physical things, the chumrim, and material things, and the soul becomes, so to speak, separated from God. Right? To the point, there's no secret. You come into this world, and there's people who read the whole Torah, rabbis, and they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the Torah, they don't believe in the commandments, and they convince other people to do the same. How can it be? The soul always believes in God. The soul doesn't believe. The soul knows that God exists. The soul isn't. How can it be? Because the soul comes into the body and it gets confused. Well, amito shel davar. That's what Lavan said. The sons and the daughters belong to me. Soul, you're coming into the body. Now you're in my territory. You're in my territory. Everything belongs to me. You have to act like a normal person in the world. You can't be this Jewish stuff with tefillin and Shabbos and learning Torah and praying and being serious about God. It doesn't work. Lamito shel davar, the truth is, hari, hit pardut, melukut, the separation, that the soul separates, so to speak, from God. Av the regachad, even if it's for one moment, novad rak miruach shtut. This idea that you can say that I'm separated from God, this comes from what we call a spirit of insanity. What do they call it? And they used to call it, what do they call it? An evil spirit or something? Avalule ruach hashtut, hari asechel de kedusha, afilu asechel stam, sechel bari, eno nakam, noten makom, the pored melukut. Normal intelligence doesn't give a place to be separated from God. Open the door, please. Afilu l'rega katzar, even for a short amount of time. Okay, Yoni, with me? Sheken rega zo, Aveda she'enu chozeret, because every second is precious, even to be separate from God one instant. Kol shechen behetem kefi she'inyan muzbar bepirut betanya, that a rega mitbatez bebechinas shalomayla mi'azman. 1 second. Oish. 1 second of being attached to God is eternal. or even more, hadavar mashpia also al zaman shachar mikam. If you do a mitzvah, you do something that's eternal, so that will be eternal, and it has an effect even on times afterwards. Calm down, please. Shemafrid atzmo l'rega mi. Mistamech al kach she'achar mikan yitzeh mimitzav zo harizeh inyan shel achtev ashuv she'en maspikim biyado lasot tshuva v'yesh lizdakek lidachak v'nichnas. What does it mean? A Jewish person that's in the world, to be separate from God even from one instant, to be separate from God even from one instant, that's eternity, and it's insanity. It's like a person saying that he's going to kill himself for 1 minute, right? Who would want to do a thing like that? Zachary, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I don't want to. But please, you have to calm down. Yeah, let's turn this off for a second. Let's turn this off.